All right, folks, welcome to the Racing Nation podcast. I'm Sean Yoder, and tonight we have Jill Beck from Racing4Research and the Children's Tumor Foundation with us. We're going to dive into their association with sports car racing in general. Racing4Research and Children's Tumor Foundation have been involved in sports car racing in North America for quite a while now. I believe it's going on 9 years with IMSA, and since about 2011 with the Pirelli World Challenge with various teams. I'm going to turn it over to Jill Beck and let her introduce herself a little bit. Let her tell you guys exactly what she does for R4R and CTF, and we'll dive into it from there and see what their 2016 season is going to be like. Jill, thanks for coming out tonight. I really appreciate it. And tell the folks who you are and what you do.
Well, hey, thanks, Sean. It's really great to talk with you. My name is Jill Beck, and I am the director of the Racing4Research program for the Children's Tumor Foundation. Racing4Research is a motorsports-based fundraising and awareness-raising program. Children's Tumor Foundation raises money and awareness of neurofibromatosis, a genetic disorder that affects 1 in 3,000. And we use motorsports as a way of raising awareness of a genetic disorder that most people have probably never heard of. And it also gives us an opportunity to give these really special kids who are battling a challenging disorder the opportunity to come out and enjoy motorsports and have people help them raise money to end this terrible disease.
Absolutely, and I actually found you guys years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It was years. What was it? 7 or 8 years ago, probably now.
Yeah, I want to say 2009 is what comes to mind. Yep.
Okay, it's been longer than I care to remember, actually. But I found you guys. A group of guys were going to come over to the house. A group of guys and gals actually were coming over to my house to watch the 24 Hours of Daytona, and we were going to do a simulated 24-hour race on my simulator alongside the 24 Hours of Daytona, and all of a sudden I just got the idea, why don't we try to turn this into a way to raise some money for a charity? And we found you guys, and with your relationship with sports car racing, it made sense. And I reached out to you, and you went, "You're crazy, but I think we'll do it."
Yeah, I remember we have renderings of the space and the car and all that good stuff. It was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a great time, and just doing that little thing, just turning what we were going to do in our spare time is something that we'd love to do anyway, into a way to raise awareness for Children's Tumor Foundation. And we actually, I think, all things considered, raised a considerable amount of money, considering it was just a hobby thing.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing to me that you can take motorsport in either the real world or the simulated world and turn it into a way to raise awareness for for CTF. I absolutely love being involved with it. And you take that simulated stuff that we did, and now you guys have been involved with IMSA for going on 9 years. The relationship you've got with IMSA as a sanctioning body is absolutely amazing and long-lasting. I know you've been with PwC for a while too. But the IMSA thing, how did you originally say sports cars are where we want to be? I mean, did you consider other forms of racing, or was it always going to be, we want to be involved with sports cars?
It was actually something that found us. There was a friend of our then executive director who was involved in sports car racing and wanted to give back a little bit and put a decal on his car. And that was kind of the extent of it. And when that was in early, I guess that was January, that was the 24 in 2008. And immediately it became clear there was an opportunity within sports car racing to raise awareness and use the spotlight of sports car racing and the generosity of these amazing teams, crews, drivers, to build a platform to raise awareness of neurofibromatosis and Children's Tumor Foundation. So initially, I'm a car person. My background has been a Porsche Club. I had been in the Porsche Club for more years than I care to admit. And I kind of reached out to a bunch of friends and said, let's see if we can get together a group of guys, drivers, that would allow CTF to put the logo on the exterior of the car. And that's kind of how we started, was basically gentleman drivers. And we focused solely on the Rolex 24 initially. And then rather quickly it became apparent that we needed to really expand beyond the single race if we really wanted to create a footprint within the motorsports community and really do what our mission was, which is to raise awareness of NF and raise funds to fund NF research. We really needed to broaden. So we started within what was Grand Am at the time and expanding our presence there, attending a few more races every year. And then around 2011, started to go to regularly attend not just what has become IMSA races, but adding in the Pirelli World Challenge Series and really kind of covering the breadth of North American professional sports car racing. And that has really changed our game. I mean, we have now raised nearly $4 million through motorsports to fund NF research, and that's amazing. And even more so for me, and I think a lot of people would agree, is the ability to bring families from around the country to come to the racetrack and get these kids and their parents the opportunity to have a day away from dealing with the hardships of living with NF and give them an opportunity to really become to get up close and personal with racing. And honestly, we create race fans, and I think that's probably one of the coolest benefits of our program is we bring people who have never been to the race, and all of a sudden we create rabid race fans because they get such a really special weekend where they're treated. It's not about having NF, it's about that this is a VIP and they've come to check out the racing, and the team and the drivers are so kind and generous in what they give back to these kids.
I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the kids sitting in the cars. It's parents, it's children, it's their relatives there with them. There's not a single face that doesn't have a giant smile on it the entire time you guys are doing what you do. It is an amazing thing.
And you hit on a really solid point. It's not just about our NF heroes, and our NF heroes are what we call our kids and adults who live with NF every day, but it's also about their families, because being a family member of somebody who has NF, it presents its own challenges. And the great thing about Racing4Research is it's inclusive of everybody. Mom and dad can have a great time. The siblings can get in the race cars too. So, everybody's treated equally, and it creates a wonderful family weekend.
And I think it actually elevates the teams as well. I think that the teams that are allowing you guys to come into their paddock areas and be a part of, even on pit road, I mean, when I see the teams interacting with the families, and like we said, it's not just the children; it's the entire family unit is definitely affected by the was it neurofibromatosis? Did I get that right?
Or close. Neurofibromatosis.
Mitosis. I was really close.
You're very close.
That's a big word for me.
Which is why we call it NF.
There you go.
Because it's a mouthful.
I shall be saying NF from now on. But it's the whole family that's affected by NF, and to see the whole family actually engaged in something over the course of the race weekends. And I've seen it year in, year out. I'm at Daytona every year. I try to get to as many races as I possibly can outside of that. You guys are really doing an amazing job. This year was very special for you guys at the 24 because your partnership with Magnus, or Magnus's partnership with you, however that works, actually saw the CTF and R4R logos on a car that won their class for the first time.
First time ever at Daytona, and it was thrilling. It was, for the first time ever, we got our kids on the podium at Daytona,
right.
And that was huge. That was huge.
I can't even imagine. It's, like you said, these kids are coming in, most of them aren't even race fans. So the first time they've come to a racetrack, not only are they getting to be there with a top-level team and interacting with everybody within the Magnus organization, they also get to go into Victory Lane at Daytona. That's unheard of.
It was huge, and I have to say that the folks at IMSA, the people at Daytona International Speedway, even the local Daytona Beach Police were so amazing, so helpful, and so kind in getting the kids into victory lane, which as you know is just a freaking zoo.
Right.
After the race, and they even held space because I kind of had gone over in advance, and it looked like because the top 2 cars had CTF logos, so I felt like in GTD seemed like we might actually make it to the podium, and so I ran over and checked, and the security guard over there was great, and they held space for our kids because a lot of them are disabled, they're
right.
in wheelchairs, and so we need some special accommodation, and they were without a doubt the kindest, most amazing group of people that were able to get our kids over there, and even get them up on the stage when there's champagne all over the place.
Right.
Tricky, but they got them up there, and it was great.
Worth it, definitely worth it. Shifting gears a little bit from the Daytona win to just the entire experience that you've got going on with all the teams. You've got a program called the Embedded Fan Program, and tell us a little bit about that and exactly how that works, because it's not just a single team that you're typically working with at these race weekends. There are multiple teams involved, correct?
That's correct. Embedded Fans is something that we started this year. We have historically been with a single team at the Rolex 24,
okay.
And this year I thought it would be interesting if we kind of broke that up and spread the love around the paddock. We've typically always had the kids' names on a single car at the Rolex 24, and instead this year we put a few names on lots of cars, and thought that was a better opportunity for our families to get to know teams across the paddock, and for the teams to get to know our families and get to know the kids that were supporting their car. And so each group of children they knew which car they belonged to. They used the hashtags like CTF44 for the Magnus car.
Right.
And they were able to show their support for their team. And then it really broadened the reach of the program, where we were able to make connections with drivers and teams that we haven't been able to when we were working with a single team. So, over the years, we've gone from being working with single teams to working, we were with, 8 teams at Daytona. And throughout the year, we're looking to expand that, and we'll have some news coming out later this month that will show an even greater expansion on the exposure of the foundation across multiple teams in various series.
The way it's growing is absolutely amazing. Just out of curiosity, was there any sort of bench racing going on between the families and the children as they're involved with different teams? It's a little bit of...
We tried to dissuade that. We were like, CTF wins and we all win. But certainly I would think that some of the kids were pretty thrilled to see their name, the car with their name in front of victory lane. So I can't take that away from them.
There's no way around that.
Yeah,
there's no way.
I reached out to the series after the event. I wanted to kind of send a little commemorative gift to everybody, and actually they haven't. They're actually probably getting them right now, but they. The IMSA, again, in their generosity, was really kind and gave us their leftover IMSA Rolex 24 patches. So each of the kids who were with us in Daytona are going to get a little gift of one of the patches for the race suit. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You can't beat that.
No,
you can't beat that. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm going to shift gears one more time. We're always shifting gears always shifting gears. Jeff Hansen with the I just have to ask, just because the cars have been so beautiful.
Thank you.
Is Mr. Hansen going to be a part of CTF going forward, or
absolutely? Actually, at Daytona during the Continental Tire Race, the Ford Mustang GT350 RC of Compass 360 Racing carried Jeff Hansen's art. That is the 2016 art car.
Okay.
For Children's Tumor Foundation.
That's perfect, because his stuff actually brings a very unique flair to what you guys are doing. It's neat to see him involved.
And absolutely. We're even looking to see if we can make a diecast car of this year's car, because I personally, I don't know if you saw, we did a diecast of the first Jeff Hansen art car that we did with Park Place Motorsports. Mm-hmm. And that was in 2013, and that was their Porsche that ran during the Rolex 24. And so in each year since, we've had an art car running. It started with Park Place and then has kind of transitioned over to Compass 360 Racing. And this is our 3rd season of the art car, and we're thrilled to have it on a Ford this year, which really dovetailed well with Jeff won the 2015 Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award from the NASCAR Foundation, and one of the sponsoring partners of that was Ford. So it was kind of cool that we were able to carry that Ford momentum and Jeff together into the art car for 2016.
I was just reading about that award before we got on the call, and just so that people know, what exactly is the humanitarian award? What's the criteria involved in that?
So the NASCAR Foundation has an award called the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award, and it is an award named in honor of the patriarch of NASCAR, Betty Jane France. And it is in recognition of her work in the community and giving back to the community. So the award recognizes somebody who gives back to the community and helps children's. They call them champion of children. Jeff Hansen's unique. I nominated Jeff for the award for obvious reasons.
Right.
What he's given back is amazing. But Jeff has, through his artwork, Jeff has NF. He is legally blind. And during chemotherapy, when he was a young boy, he started to do watercolor. And then one of his physicians actually asked him to take the watercolor and make it bigger. And then he started to sell his little watercolor note cards at the bottom of his driveway from a local lemonade stand, his lemonade stand, to raise money for Children's Tumor Foundation. And one summer,
wow.
he raised $15,000 by selling his little note cards. Well, since then, that has grown into what is an amazing philanthropic adventure he's on. He is now a really well-known philanthropic artist. He's now 22. He has raised more than $1 million for over 100 charities worldwide. So it was a real simple nomination.
Right.
It was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to nominate this guy. Because we had started working together, like I said, on the first art car, and early last year, I thought, well, this guy makes sense. Let's see if we can maybe get a nomination. It's not easy to get to be in the final four for the NASCAR Foundation Award, and we were thrilled to make it to the final four. And then it goes to a public vote. And we had 58 days of nonstop voting to see if Jeff could win the Betty Jane France Humanitarian Award, which for Children's Tumor Foundation equals a $100,000 donation. So it was a huge deal for us.
Goodness gracious!
And we were we worked our tails off, I'll tell you.
Right.
And we were thrilled to win. It was announced live at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Awards banquet, and so the $100,000 donation was given to Children's Tumor Foundation in honor of Jeff's win. And Jeff also received a Ford Fusion, 2016 Ford Fusion. Jeff is legally blind, so a car isn't something that is terribly useful. So he donated that back to the foundation as well. So the proceeds of that car also come to the foundation. So it's been a very an amazing adventure and a partnership that we hope to continue with the Hansens for as long as we can imagine.
And he's continually proving that he is more than deserving of the humanitarian award. I mean, just with the things that he does.
They're an amazing family. Yeah, they're an amazing family. I have learned so much from them. And one of the phrases that they have coined is generosity begets generosity. And I see that in the race paddock. When I like to send out, I have taken a cue from them, and I like to send out handwritten thank you letters. And it's amazing how few people actually do thank people for doing good things. And I think the race paddock is full of amazing people that are incredibly generous and don't get a lot of recognition for what they do. And I hope that they feel appreciated by the Children's Tumor Foundation, because we do our best to thank them for everything they do for us. Our program would be nothing without them.
I think they absolutely do. They have no choice but to. They see what you guys bring, and you bring a lot of happy faces to the paddock. That's a good thing. And as much recognition as they're bringing to CTF and Racing for Research, you're doing the same for motorsport in a community that truly might not be motorsport fans, but they are after they see what you're doing. So it works both ways, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's why the series enjoy working with us, because we do genuinely bring and create race fans, and that's cool. And it is a family. Racing is it's about bringing families to the track and having a great experience. And we love to win. Burning fuel and tires is great, but I think it's best when there's another side to all that, and that's making a difference in the lives of people who can use some help.
Absolutely. And speaking of burning fuel and tires, your plans for 2016. They involve some more IMSA, but they're also Pirelli World Challenge. You're still working with Compass over there, correct?
Absolutely. We're with in IMSA. We'll continue to work with Park Place Motorsports, Magnus, Compass 360 Racing. This year we were able at the Rolex 24 to start partnerships with Conrad Motorsport, Performance Tech, and BAR1. Moving over to World Challenge, we again have Compass 360 Racing over in that paddock as well, but also we work with GMG Racing. Alec Udell is going to be carrying the CTF logo again in the GT Cup class. He just released his announcement the other day. And then Ryan Eversley, who's one of our early drivers, who has long supported Children's Tumor Foundation, is will be with Real Time again, and Peter Cunningham. So there'll be some more announcements regarding World Challenge coming up, and we're pretty thrilled to be in that paddock. They are really good people, have always been incredibly generous to the foundation and very welcoming to our families. And the blue T-shirts of the Children's Tumor Foundation are really well known in both paddocks, and we're really proud of that.
Absolutely. Can you say what races you're going to be at this year? Do you have that in front of you? I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't know if you don't know everywhere you're going to be. I just want folks to know where they can find you.
We will be at every track at least once through the season. So where we have some duplicate races, for example, COTA or Road America, will likely just be at one or the other events, and our schedule will be published at Racing4Research.org or on our Facebook page. But yeah, we will be everywhere.
Awesome.
It'll be hard to miss. Our first big World Challenge, obviously we just did the Rolex 24 for IMSA, so that was our first big event for the 2016 season in IMSA. And for World Challenge, our first big event will be St. Petersburg.
Sounds good. So basically, if people want to find you, they can find you. You're
yeah, like I said, go to our Facebook page is probably the best place to keep track of where we are, and that's Racing4Research.
And that was what I was going to ask you next, is if people want to learn more about Racing for Research and CTF, obviously you've got the website, you've got the Facebook page. They can find you wherever they need to find you, and we will actually put the links to those sites up when this goes live. So we want people to be able to find you as quickly as they possibly can and learn more about what Racing for Research and the Children's Tumor Foundation is doing for the NF research that y'all do. It's a pretty amazing thing.
Thank you. I mean, we're incredibly fortunate. We've found a niche in motorsports that I think that has really broadened the ability of the foundation to raise funds and awareness in ways that I don't think we could have imagined when we started this thing, over nine years ago. It's something we're all very proud of.
As you should be. And I'd like to take just a few seconds and say thank you for coming on tonight, and thank you for letting the Racing Nation know exactly what Racing for Research and the Children's Tumor Foundation is all about and where they can find you throughout the 2016 season. Jill, thanks a lot for your time. We appreciate it greatly, and I know I'll see you at a track somewhere before long this year.
No, absolutely, and thank you, Sean. I really appreciate the opportunity. It's great to talk to you again, and it's great to have the opportunity to share the Children's Tumor Foundation with Racing Nation.
Thank you very much, and I will be bugging you soon to find out what that news is that you've got coming. So
absolutely, I think we'll be talking mid-March.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Jill. You have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.